SynthStories starts right now.
Am I the a-hole for not giving my ex's wife equal say and decision-making abilities for my kids? My ex-husband cheated and left me for his new wife. They have been officially together for 2.5 years and married for less than a year. He waited for the divorce to finalize before going public with her because he didn't want our kids ages 9 and 7 to figure out he had been cheating. That's a very obvious source of conflict, but it's actually a source of double conflict. Of course, I can't stand either of them. Him for cheating and her for knowing he was married with a family. She can't stand me because she believes I should have helped them lie to the kids so they could be openly together sooner. The reason she thinks that is because ex and I had a rocky marriage before I found out he cheated. He said it's why he went there with her, but I don't believe him for a second. We had been going to marriage counseling to work on our issues, and in reality he was cheating and wanted to leave me while saying in counseling he wanted to stay. He and I share physical and legal custody of the kids. All decisions for/about the kids must be made together. He can include his wife in his part of the decision, but there is no ruling that I must include her equally, and I don't. This bothers her so much. Both kids do summer swimming lessons so they can keep up their strong swimming skills, which ex and I have always felt is important because we have a lot of water around where we live. She wanted to change where they go for swim lessons this summer, and she brought it up to me and I told her no. She wanted me to hear her out, but I said no. She got ex to bring it up and I told him my answer was still no. He said I should have let her speak about it, and I told him that if they agree on something he can bring it to me, otherwise no, I do not need to listen to her. Another problem she has is their extracurriculars. She feels they should be doing a few different things to what they are currently doing. This was again something she wanted the two of us to talk about, and I said no. She told me she should have an equal say in this kind of thing, and I told her no. I told her if she wants her say to speak to my ex and we can discuss it, but she doesn't get a say with me. She also wanted to switch their pediatrician because her friend's kids have a different one and she felt it should be talked about and discussed because she gets to make decisions like this too. My answer was no, and even my ex's was, but he was mad I wouldn't let her have that say. The way I see it is I have to co-parent with him even if he is a cheater. But I did not make babies with her, so I do not need to give her more consideration than she gave us when she became the other woman. It's all up to him if he wants to include her in his decisions and topics he wants to bring up with me. But I have made it clear it will not all be equal with me, and that I made kids with ex and not her. Am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for leaving my parents to figure out what happens to my siblings when they get too old/sick to care for them? I, 19 male, have 3 siblings and I'm the second born of the family. After 3 of us were born and my mom was pregnant with the youngest, my parents found out they were carriers of a gene that has left all 3 of my siblings disabled. It's shown earlier with each of my siblings. With my older sister she was 4.5 before they saw signs, with my younger brother he was 2, and with my baby sister she was months old. I don't have the same condition they have, and I'm also not a carrier, confirmed with testing myself a few months ago for my own peace of mind. Because I was the only healthy child I got overlooked a lot. But more than that, my parents expected a lot out of me. I had to help keep the house running, had to help with care of my siblings, had to make sure to stay on top of school and homework, and I had nobody to ask for help. The duties piled on more and more as I got older. When Mom realized she enjoyed my cooking, she had me take over making all 3 meals. Dad had me do yard work in his place because he hated it. They got me to do most of the cleaning so their focus could be on my siblings. Cleanup when accidents with my siblings happened was also on me. They sent me for all kinds of first aid training courses so I'd know what to do if one of my siblings needed help. My childhood was exhausting, and the worst part of it was my parents were never kind to me. They often took their frustrations out on me or made me feel like I didn't deserve any appreciation for all I was doing. When I was about 15 we got into this big fight because I told them I should let them stay hungry after asking them for some kind of praise and recognition for taking over the meals like I was asked and making food they enjoyed eating. I told them I did a lot and they never acknowledged it. Their response, aka the reason why I told them they could stay hungry, was that I'm not supposed to be thanked for helping family and I wasn't a baby and didn't need to be praised like one. My mom even asked me if I'd cry like a baby to my teacher for praise. My parents gave zero thoughts to my future beyond helping them. They never thought I'd move out and go to college or learn a trade or anything. And when I did move out as a fresh 18-year-old with nowhere to go initially, they expected me to come back. But I stayed in a shelter for a few weeks and then a friend was able to help me out. I haven't gone back home since. My parents have asked for help, but I always deny them, and recently they told me I'll be out of practice when I need these skills in a few years, because what about when they can't do it anymore? I used them bringing that up to let them know they need to figure out what happens to my siblings because I won't be taking over responsibility for their care. Am I the a-hole?
Am I wrong for refusing to believe my daughter is a bully? I have a daughter named Riley, 17 female, who has been consistently harassed by a girl named AITA, 16 to 18 female. My daughter Riley has a very out there personality. She's very outgoing and very social. Riley can be pretty loud, and we are working on time and place. Aisha, on the other hand, is very combative. She consistently challenges authority, keeps to herself, and is pretty standoffish. Aisha has accused Riley of saying that Aisha's name sounds like a porn star's name. Aisha also has seizures, and she claims Riley said they look like she was being possessed. Aisha also said Riley made fun of the fact that she has autism. She listed a bunch of other horrible things Riley supposedly did. The thing is, I genuinely don't think my daughter would do those things. There was a school trip coming up, and Aisha was going. I saw Aisha talking with her friends, so I pulled her aside to talk to her. I said, "My daughter is Riley, and we would really appreciate it if you could leave her alone. I know there's bad blood between you, but Riley is a very sweet girl, and I'm sure you could be a sweet girl as well. So please just be nice." I said it exactly like that. Aisha responded, "Then tell your little fucking angel to leave me the fuck alone." We went on the trip, and there were 2 rooms split in half. Aisha ended up in our cabin. I tried to be nice to her, but she clearly decided she hated me. Most of the time, Aisha kept to herself. Riley has a very big personality, and she was joking around with her friends and playfully pushing them. Aisha rudely said, "Stop it, you're in my space." Riley told me about it. So I tried to have a conversation with Aisha about how she could have said that more nicely. She told me to fuck off. After that, she mostly just hung out with one of the boys and didn't interact much. This is where I think I may have messed up. I continued being nice to Aisha and treated her like I would anyone else. During lunch, I saw her holding her head, sitting with her knees pulled up, absolutely bawling her eyes out. She was hyperventilating. I asked her what was wrong and grabbed her face. She told me to go away, but I started rubbing her head and said, "It's okay. Just tell me what's wrong. I really do care about you." She then said, "Go away. Leave me the fuck alone." Then she told me that while she was in the bathroom, Riley and her friends are banging on the door, calling her names and turning off the lights. I called Riley over and asked her if that happened. She said it did, but that it was just a joke. I told Riley that it was not a joke, and I made her apologize to Aisha. For the rest of the time, Aisha refused to look at me or talk to me. On the last day, I was called over by one of the other parents. They told me that Riley was harassing Aisha and that it was not the other way around. I said that could not be true because I know my Riley, and she would never do that. They then told me they were going to inform the school if I did not keep Riley away from Aisha.
Am I the a-hole shitting on my girlfriend's family's floor? Throwaway for obvious reasons. The title sounds pretty ridiculous, but as I will explain, it can happen. Essentially, I, 32 male, went to my girlfriend's, 27 female, house for a date. I hadn't seen her for a while as I was working across the country on a project, so naturally, I was quite excited to see her. I am very friendly with her family and was delighted to see that her father, a chef, had cooked a delicious-looking meal, and I was getting reacquainted with him, as I said. I hadn't seen my girlfriend in 2 months. It was a wonderful occasion, and we were talking. I will admit, I had a few drinks, and the atmosphere was pretty good, and there was great music, great vibes all around. I was eating from this delicious, freshly cooked banquet, and her cousins started to arrive. I was delighted to meet them. As I said, I'm a very good friend with the extended family, and we really started hitting it off. I had a few more drinks, and I will admit I was starting to feel a little bit nauseous and tired, although I just came off of an 8-hour flight, so I chalked it down to that. I will note at this point that I suffer from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and I take medication for it. I feel the need to go to the bathroom to relieve myself, so I sit down on the toilet, open my phone, and start browsing the internet, and I release the best part of very large excrement. Then suddenly I lose my positioning and I slip to the side, but I regain my posture. I wipe my private area and think nothing more of it. As I mentioned, I'm quite dizzy. I was my hands and head back out to the party. We were talking, chilling, and there is all around great vibes when my girlfriend's cousin, let's call him Chuck, comes out to the kitchen and whispers something to my girlfriend's uncle. He walks out and I hear aloud, "What the fuck?" We all sort of walk out and I look in the door and see a disgusting drizzle of crap all around the door side of the toilet, and it looks disgusting. My girlfriend's father walks out and also says, "What the fuck?" And I am nervous. I say to him, I think I saw Tucker, one of my girlfriend's other cousins, looking a bit sick, but then just in my horrible luck, Tucker, a fake name, comes out and says, "What the fuck, are you serious?" At this point, I'm shitting bricks, thankfully not literally, and I'm looking for any way out of the situation. There's like 7 to 8 people at the party, but most of them have arrived quite recently, and I am the only one who was known to have gone to the bathroom. My girlfriend's mother starts crying and I feel awful. Basically, the whole atmosphere is ruined. My girlfriend's dad goes in to clean it up with the aid of her brother, and I walk back to the kitchen, but there's a very edgy vibe for the rest of the evening, and I feel like my girlfriend might suspect something. Too long. Didn't read. Shitted on my girlfriend's floor and was too embarrassed to own up to it. Am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for making my 15-year-old stepdaughter leave my home and banning her from my house for her cruelty? I, 35 female, have been married to my husband, 45 male, for 4 years and together for 5. We dated for a year before we got married. He has a beautiful 15-year-old daughter from a previous marriage. She never viewed me as a stepmother but as an enemy. Maybe it's because her mother sees me that way, or maybe she feels that I'm trying to replace her mother. I have tried everything I could to make her feel welcome in our home. I love her like my own daughter. It hurts because she hates me and I don't know why. I always make myself available for her to come to me when she needs me. I include her in every activity I do. I even offered to paint her room for her when her father told her that she'd have to wait. I am doing everything I can to make her feel welcomed around me. I want her to feel like she's my family. Her mother doesn't like me at all, and that may be another factor in this. So today was a boiling point. So for context, my stepdaughter has anger issues. I have talked to her and her mother about potentially getting her counseling. The past few months her behavior has gotten worse than it was before. She would start with stealing from me and destroying things in the house after her father tells her no to things, and when her father upsets her in the slightest, she'd break things. She's broken our television, she's thrown dishes and broke them, she has kicked doors and slammed doors off of. She's broken glasses and has punched holes in walls and kicked the doors down. She has been fighting at school. She has started these fights as well. She beat up a girl so bad she broke her nose and arm. She has fought teachers and security. We have been to juvenile court 3 times in the past year and a half. This scares me because I'm always worried of doing or saying the wrong thing. I am on eggshells here. I'm at a loss and don't know what to do. I also have a toddler with my husband who is 2 years old. So earlier today I put my toddler down for a nap. My husband and his daughter got into an argument. She asked to stay the night at her boyfriend's house and he told her no. I walked downstairs to see what was going on. And our dog crossed her path. She kicked him hard in his side and told him to move out of the way. I had gotten really angry in that moment because I had put up with a lot from her. Animal cruelty is just something no one should ever do no matter how angry they are. I called her mother and told her to come get her. I went upstairs to my stepdaughter's room and grabbed her bags she brought over and put them downstairs beside the door. She yelled at me and threatened harm towards me. I told her that she is no longer welcome here since she hurt our dog. I told her that until she learns to control her anger, she can't be here. Her mother came and told me I was overreaching and called me a bunch of names. I told them both to leave. Now my stepdaughter's mom and aunt are spamming me with hateful messages saying I had no right to ban her from our home. I'm at a loss. I've been nothing but loving and patient with her. I gave her chance after chance and defended her on so many occasions. I can't handle this anymore. This stress is getting to me. I wish there was a way we could get her admitted to some facility to help her. Her mother refused altogether and tells me I'm not her real mother and I have no rights to make any choices regarding her daughter. Am I the a-hole?
Jealous of my ex-husband. I'm struggling with something I'm not proud of and quite ashamed of it, to be honest. My ex-husband decided marriage wasn't for him and left when our son was 7 months old. At that time, I had planned to relocate for the marriage, left my job, had no financial support. He wasn't giving any even if I asked. Using my savings, I lived with my parents, then his for support while raising my son, and it was one of the lowest points of my life. When I tried to involve him as a father after the divorce, he dismissed me and was often insulting. He was very angry with me for some reason all the time. I ended up rebuilding everything from scratch, went back to residency, worked relentlessly, left him out of our life, and now I'm a surgeon and a lecturer. Through all of that, I raised my son alone. It was hard. There were days I had no money, but we survived. There were days where I cried because I felt like I wasn't enough for my son, but here we are. Now, 2 years after the divorce, he's remarried, seems happy, and suddenly wants to be involved and be the perfect father. And the truth is my son loves him. I would never stand in the way of that relationship. but I'm struggling with jealousy. I'm here as a single mother, still carrying the weight of everything that happened, with very little time for a personal life that I had. After everything I went through, he seems to have moved on so easily, found love, built a life, and now wants to step back in like none of it happened. Meanwhile, I've had to sacrifice a lot. My peace has come from being alone, but sometimes the loneliness hits, especially when I see how things turned out for him. I don't want him back. I am happy that he's completely out of my life. There was a time he did want to flirt, etc. after the divorce. I assume when he was dating his wife, but I put boundaries and he did not like it. I don't want to feel this way. I don't want resentment to affect how I co-parent or how I show up for my son. I guess I just wanted to vent. I know I'm not supposed to feel this way, but I still do. Hopefully it will go away with time.
Am I the a-hole for accepting a property gift from my mom even though she won't include my boyfriend? I'm 30 female and my mom owns a rental property in Sacramento worth around $400,000. She's been saying for years she wants to give it to me and she's finally ready to transfer it. The catch is she wants it in my name only and wants me to sign something that keeps it separate from any future marriage. I've been with my boyfriend, 33 male, for 3 years. We're not engaged, but we've talked about marriage. When I told him about the property, he got excited and started talking about selling it and using the money for a bigger place for us. I explained my mom wants it just in my name and he lost it. Said it's clear my mom doesn't see him as part of my future and that by accepting these conditions I'm agreeing with her. He wants me to turn down the gift. My sister called me crying saying I'd be insane to give up $400,000 of property because my boyfriend is throwing a tantrum. My dad says if my boyfriend really loved me he'd want me to have it regardless of whose name it's in. My boyfriend is barely speaking to me. He says his parents would never treat me this way and that accepting the gift means I'm choosing my mom over him. He thinks the fact that I'm even considering taking it shows I don't see a future with him. I told him we're not even engaged yet, so I don't understand why he thinks he's entitled to property my mom is giving me. He said that comment proved his point and he's been staying at his friend's place for the last 3 days. My mom said if I don't accept it now she's going to sell it instead. So I either take it with her conditions or lose it completely. Am I the a-hole for accepting the property even though my boyfriend thinks it means I don't trust him or see him as my partner?
Am I the a-hole for not changing my wedding venue for my lazy brother? I, 27 female, am currently in the planning phase of my wedding to my fiancé, 28 male, and are currently getting moaned at by family for our choice of venue. We have been together 11 years and now engaged nearly 2 years. I am a Disney nerd at heart and my fiancé is also a lover of Star Wars, so it has been in the works for the past 11 years that we would get married in Disney World, Florida. We live in the UK. We have traveled there many times before and love the idea of having the perfect Disney wedding. Due to this being an abroad wedding, we let both of our families know nearly a year ago that we would have a wedding in the US and to let us know if they wanted to join us, as we understand it can get expensive, but thought that giving people 3 years notice would be enough time for people to save if they wanted to come. The problem is my brother/my dad. Some important context. My brother has not had a full-time job for the past 4 years now after losing his job by getting fired. At the time he was fired, my SIL was pregnant with my nephew, and my brother used the excuse of looking after my nephew as a way to not work full-time again. My SIL has a decent paying job and is now the breadwinner. My nephew now is in school, but my brother spends his time working 2 hours per day cleaning, going to the pub every day for a few hours, and attempting to start his own business. He is not very frugal with his money and will happily spend £500 here and there on small things like coffee machines, shoes, or upgrades to an old car he was given. When I told everyone that we had planned to get married in Disney, most of the family were excited, and my friends had also agreed to start saving, which I absolutely appreciate and love them for. However, my brother immediately said he wouldn't come as he couldn't afford it. I tried to reason that they have enough time to save, and that he had previously expressed to want to take my nephew there, so it would be a good time with family. He still said no, and I respected that. Later that day, I was talking to my mom and dad about my brother saying no, and that it was due to costs. My mom agreed with me, respecting his wish, and that I can't force him. However, my dad had other ideas. He started to suggest that I should forget about getting married abroad and that I should get married in the UK so that my brother could be there. I had tried to explain my side, but my dad is under the impression that I should prioritize family being present over having the wedding venue that I have envisioned for the past 11 years. This is where I may be the AH. I stated that, even though it may sound selfish, my wedding is mine and my fiancé's day to celebrate our relationship and our future. Therefore, we want to celebrate it in our way, and whatever friends and family join us in a bonus. I am not changing out wedding venue to accommodate my lazy brother who can't be bothered to get a full-time job or actually save any money to be at his sister's wedding. My dad wasn't happy with what I said and refused to talk to me for the rest of the evening. My mom agreed with me and said she would talk to my dad later. That was 5 months ago. And since then, my dad will find any excuse to bring up the wedding venue in an attempt to change my mind. Sometimes it's becoming a weekly event and just causing arguments. My brother is not in any of the arguments and isn't even aware that our dad is attempting to change my mind. He's accepted that he won't be there. I have also tried to compromise by suggesting a big party when we return with all of the extended family invited to celebrate the wedding. Am I the a-hole for standing my ground on this? Or am I being selfish? Thank you, lovelies. Edit. The wedding will be June 2028, and I told every one of these plans in June 2025, so I did give them 3 years' notice.
Am I the a-hole for picking up my stepdaughter from school when she got her first period, even though her mom told me not to? I, 24 female, am currently 6 months pregnant with my first biological child. My husband, 28 male, has a 10-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. He had her when he was 18. I love my stepdaughter very much and truly see her as my own, but I try to be respectful of boundaries and not get too involved in discipline. We mostly just have a good, fun relationship. Recently, something happened that has me second-guessing myself. My stepdaughter was at school when she called my husband saying she had really bad stomach pain. She went to the bathroom and noticed blood, and my husband immediately realized she had started her period. He was stuck at work and couldn't leave, and her mom wasn't answering calls at first. I was home, and I'm also on the school's approved pickup list. I told my husband I'd be happy to go get her if he wanted, since she was clearly uncomfortable. Then her mom finally called back, and things got tense. She said this was a matter between her and her real mother and that it was a special moment she didn't want to miss. I explained that her daughter was in pain and would be bleeding all day, but she said, well, she'll have to tough it out and use toilet paper until I can get there. My stepdaughter was also saying the pain was too bad to focus in class. Her mom kept insisting she didn't want me involved and said something along the lines of, you'll understand when your baby arrives and you become a mom, talk to me when your child has an important life event. That comment honestly stung. Then my stepdaughter called me crying, saying she needed pain meds. The school had given her pads, but she just wanted to go home and rest. Hearing her like that really got to me. My husband told me to go ahead and pick her up. So I did. I signed her out, took her to Walmart, got her ibuprofen and ginger ale, and brought her home. She took the meds and rested and was doing much better. About 5 hours later, her mom called absolutely furious. She said the school could have handled it, that my stepdaughter missed her after-school program, and accused me of trying to be a better mom than her. She also said we had an agreement about boundaries. I told her I wasn't trying to replace her, but that her daughter was in pain for hours and is now feeling better, which should be what matters. She responded with, you parent your kid, I'll parent mine, and hung up. Now I'm stuck wondering if I overstepped. My husband says I did nothing wrong and that he's glad I helped, especially since I understand what painful periods can be like. But her mom's words are really getting to me. Am I the a-hole?
Am I the a-hole for having a craft night with my boyfriend after my friend bailed? Me and my best friend have known each other for 3 years. About a year ago, she met her boyfriend, and pretty much since then she will blow me off at every opportunity to spend time with him. If we have plans together, she will ask if her boyfriend can come or turn it into a couple's thing by also inviting my boyfriend, or most often, to show up with her boyfriend without telling me he'd be there. It drives me crazy. Her boyfriend and my boyfriend were actually friends before we all met, so we do hang out in group settings a lot, but sometimes you just want some girl time. On the rare occasions she does hang out alone with me, she texts her boyfriend constantly, and if she's not texting about him, she is talking about him constantly. I gave her grace. When they first started dating BC, I'm aware of how much a new relationship changes your priorities. However now, they are a year in and nothing has changed. They live in the same app, work together, and when they're not together they are on the phone with each other. All of this to say they spend pretty much 24/7 together. I try to hang out with her one-on-one once every few weeks or so. A few months ago, I asked if she wanted to have a craft night at my app. I would get some wine and some activity for us to do. She said yes. We set a date and time. The day of I went to the store, got the wine, got the craft stuff, I'm headed home, and I get a text from her that says she doesn't feel good and is gonna have to bail. Bad timing on her part, but oh well, what can I do about it? So instead of just sitting alone drinking a bottle of wine, I do the craft I was supposed to do with her with my boyfriend. My boyfriend talks to her boyfriend that night and checks up on my friend, and her boyfriend actually tells us she is fine, and they're just watching a movie. A month after that, she goes out of her way to ask me if we can have a craft night, since she missed the last one. I say yes, of course. We set a date and time. The day of I go to the store, buy a bottle of wine, buy some craft stuff, head home, get all set up, and 20 minutes before it's crafting time, she texts me and bails. This time her back just hurts too bad to go. Well, she must not be telling her boyfriend her lies, BC. He tells my boyfriend they're actually going out that night. So me and my boyfriend do a second craft night together. A week ago, she asks if I want to do another craft night, and I tell her I really don't want to go and get all the stuff just for her to bail on me again. And she says it shouldn't even matter because I do the crafts with my boyfriend, so it's not a waste of money. I tried to explain to her that it is more of a respect thing than anything, and if I knew I didn't want to hang out the day of I wouldn't let you go spend money on an activity I had no intention of participating in. She tried to say I was in the wrong for doing all the crafts with my boyfriend instead of trying to reschedule with her. I then explained that it is almost impossible to do anything with her without her bailing to hang with her boyfriend. Now she is mad at me. Am I the a-hole?
Thanks for listening. Like, comment, and subscribe.